Okay, so what this does is it allows you a streamlined way to retrieve information and implement rules and guide rails of things to do and not to do. And what that does is it makes the model more efficient when it's retrieving information because it's not reading through a massive document, and it provides better code and code that you can trust, which is important. But this is very, very detailed. It has like the skill.md is massive. I didn't put this together. I put together the other stuff because I thought it was important and missing, but it's more architectural on how I wanted to set up certain projects. This is really good stuff. And if you're getting into vibe coding or if you're getting into just coding in general, it's probably good to think about these kind of things and make your own rules. And if you're working on a project and you utilize this repo, the everything Claude code, I've changed it to everything Gemini code because I heavily forked it and changed it up. So I made it my own. But the one thing that this does is it will recognize when there is a gap in its rules or encountered a new situation or the project has gone to a certain direction where a new rule is required. And that's important because you don't have to constantly recognize when things are awry. You can prompt it, yes, of course, you can add new rules. But it also recognizes that, hey, there's this new thing popping up that we saw when we were validating the build that I missed. We need to add it to the rules. And so it's added. And then you'll approve and make sure that the rules don't get too large. But the rules are not, I would say the rules aren't specifying which tools to use or what to do. It's more or less a guide. It doesn't tell it step by step what to do. It just says, hey, don't do these things. And there's some instances where it does tell it exactly what it would like to do, but it doesn't necessarily state exactly what to do when it comes to coding. Like it says preferred camel case for JavaScript and TypeScript module file names, and keep skill or command directories in case. And it specifies its preferences, but it doesn't say absolutes. I think the only absolute would be like sandboxing and not accessing information or editing information that it shouldn't be doing so. But the continuous learning is such a great piece of this whole process. And then there's also workflows. So there is workflows that the agent will set up. And so it will read through all these rules and it will set up workflows. So this one says initially is agents with core project context, spec, state, and commandments. So these are some important files that it deemed that it should be reading through. I didn't set this up. AI did this themselves. I said AI did this themselves. The spec MD, state MD, commandments, and if any terms are unclear, read the glossary MD, and then provide a brief summary of the project and state how it impacts the current task. Okay. And this is implement a feature. How do you implement a feature? And so this is saying it's going to look through the read context workflow to ensure that the spec and state are understood. And then it will go through XYZ steps. But once you have all this stuff set up, and the agent will know and read through your rules and will set up its own workflows, which is beneficial since you don't have to manage it.